What is up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite podcast, We
No.
Read on Coffee. This is Erica.
And
I'm
I'm
Erica.
Marissa.
And this is your favorite podcast. And if you didn't know that, or if you forgot it was your favorite, or whatever, like now you know. I'm letting you
That's
know.
really funny because I didn't know Erica was gonna do that.
I didn't either, actually. It just came out. I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little spicy today. So,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Excuse that Marissa looks like sunny and like a warm summer day, and I look like a cold winter night. Like
Don't worry,
so
it's
random.
fake. It's my light off to the side. I have
It
my
looks so
black
real.
my blackout curtains up, but it's just as dark
Same.
here as it is where Erica is.
Yeah, it's a dark morning. We're getting started early today, but we have a fun topic for you. I have not lifted a finger this week, which is really fun. I was like, oh no, last night I'm thinking, oh no, I didn't do anything for the episode. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh thank goodness, Marissa's doing this one. So thank God. But anyway, what are you drinking this morning? This fine Sunday
So
morning.
I went to Costco last week, question mark. I don't know at
Mm-hmm.
this point. And they had an Alani pack and it had two flavors that I really
Ooh.
like and one flavor that I've never tried this one before, but I don't think it's gonna be my favorite. But I
Mm-hmm.
bought the pack anyways. I just
Yeah,
bit the bullet and I got it.
classic.
And the flavor that I didn't know if I would like, I think it's called cherry twist. It's like a cherry limeade,
Ooh.
and I
Mm-hmm.
don't love cherry. So
Yeah,
that's like the one flavor that I'm like not sold on. But I got
right.
it anyways. It's not that bad. It's just definitely not my favorite in the pack.
Yeah.
So long story short, I'm drinking an orange kiss
Oh,
Alani. Oh, let me
cute.
find the cute side of it.
Yeah, that's adorable.
The orange kiss.
Love.
And it looks really similar to the strawberry sunrise
Hmm.
like glass or container,
Yeah.
I guess. But theirs is like a little bit more red rather than pink and orange.
Cute. That's adorable. I love
But
that.
it's good. I like it. It just
Yum.
tastes like it kind of tastes like orange juice or like a mimosa,
Oh,
kind of.
love. Yeah. I love an orange juice and big orange juice girl. I don't have anything special today, guys, but I do have something new to show you. I have my classic brevet that I always have. However, I got my first straw topper for my water. So I get to show you.
Yay!
This is my straw
Aw.
topper. It's a succulent with a face on it.
Where did you find that one?
It's so cute. I went shopping with my mom this past weekend in Delaware, Ohio, and they had a little boutique that just had a whole basket of them. They were
Oh.
$3 each. And there was a cowgirl hat. I almost got the cowgirl hat,
Oh.
but I was telling Angela about it. It's hot pink, and I just felt like that part of it wasn't me. I was like, I don't know, I'm not hot pink,
Mm.
but I love this. And I bought this without the bottle with me. I didn't know it was gonna match so perfect, but it's like
Uh-huh.
so cute.
It
So
looks so cute.
my new
So
topper.
I guess we'll just jump immediately into ketchups because it's gonna go into what I'm talking about with my water bottle. So you're
Mm,
gonna see this water bottle, and you all know that I carry a big black
yeah.
Awala water bottle that usually has like a seasonal straw
Yes.
topper on it.
Seasonal topper.
I have this water bottle, and
Oh.
Erica, you can probably assume why. Can you think why I have this water
Oh,
bottle?
I definitely know why. That's much easier to carry in a certain scenario.
Yeah, so I have something else to show you guys too.
I love that we're video now. See, video you get to see first.
I have my crutches here off to the side.
Guys, it's
So
not
I
good.
know last time I think we recorded, I said that I was going to get my MRI right after.
Yeah.
And then I did. And so, fun fact, I thought my right leg was going to be the one that had all the problems. My left
Mm-hmm.
leg is
Oh,
actually fractured.
yeah.
My left tibia, about three-quarters of the way up the bone, so about a quarter of the way down my leg from my knee, is fractured. It is a
Oh
grade
my God.
three stress fracture, which is the worst one before your bone actually cracks in half.
Yeah.
Doctor said that if I would have ran my half marathon without going to the doctor, I probably would have broken my leg completely.
Oh my God, that would be so bad.
I know. And Kyle was the only one that was going to go and watch because my
Yeah.
parents, like, they extended their trip.
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't going to be able to make it back. So I would have had to like call him halfway through the course and been like, I'm at medical. You have to come and find me.
Right. That would be so scary.
Yeah, so that is on my left leg. My right leg is a grade two stress reaction, which
Mm.
means it's a step below a stress fracture. And it
Oh,
just means my muscles are really aggravated and they're
yeah.
starting to pull away from the bone, which is what a shin splint is. It sounds really dramatic, but that's literally just what a shin splint is. So
Mm-hmm.
it's leading to a lot of inflammation and a lot of pain, which he
Dang.
said is probably why I'm having a little bit more pain on my right side because it's more muscular, which is a lot more like nerves in the area
Mm-hmm.
and the one on my right leg, my left leg. I see I'm getting so confused. My right leg is actually like bone, so I'm not
Yeah.
feeling it as much.
That is so crazy, bro. You guys like how I'm reacting? I already knew this, but it's
Yeah.
just so crazy. I can't believe it. Like, it's It's always the worst case scenario
I know.
somehow.
So I had to downgrade my water bottle to one that's not nearly as cute
One
because
with a
it
little
has a
strap.
handle
Yeah.
and I can definitely hold this while I'm also holding my
Yeah.
like crutches arm.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm really frustrated. The half marathon was meant to be yesterday, so this could have been
Oh,
a really
painful.
exciting update. And it's like I could have told
Yeah.
you I PR'd. I do have my medal next to me from last year that I meant to show you like all the
Uh,
way a year ago, and it's been sitting up
yeah,
here
show us.
since. So here's my medal
Oh, it's
from last year. It
cute.
was very cute.
Love.
And now I don't get to get a matching one. And I know you all know that I was also supposed to run the Nashville Rock and Roll Half with my
Yes.
friends. I'm also out of commission for that one because my
Oh.
follow-up appointment is on April 2nd. That race is on April 26th. So there's like
Yeah.
no way, even if he tells me I'm completely healed, ready to go on April 2nd, that I'll be good to go because I can't even start physical therapy
No.
until the week of April 14th.
Oh my Lord. What is your foot situation like? Or your leg? Like, are you in anything, wrapping, cast, anything like that? Or you're just on the crutches because you can't
Just on the
really wrap it?
crutches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he told me I could wear a boot. I was just telling Erica this,
Yeah.
but I'm doing partial offloading, which means that I can
Okay.
still put weight on my leg, either leg. And for the first week that I was on crutches, I've been on crutches for just a little less than 2 weeks now. But the
Dang.
first week that I was on crutches, I was offloading the pain on the muscle side. And then now I'm offloading the pain on the broken side.
Yee.
So I still put about like 25 to 50% of my weight on my leg when I'm walking,
Hmm.
but it's not like it's not I'm not in pain. So like I can't even tell you if
Yeah.
I'm like getting better.
Right, right, right. That's
My pain was
interesting.
only happening when I was like working out, so it's really confusing.
Hard. Yeah.
But
Damn.
with that update, I have been doing something exciting. We've
Ooh.
been going swimming because that's the only
Fun.
kind of exercise I can do.
Wait, that's really fun.
It is really fun. So we found a community like rec center
Yeah.
nearby in our like town, and we've been going there. We've been swimming twice now, I think. We went like two
Wow.
back-to-back days, which was like annoying for hair washing, but really fun that I
Yeah.
actually got to work out 2 days in a
Oh,
row.
that's
And I think we're
nice.
gonna go tomorrow and Tuesday as well. So
Yay.
something we're trying to get better at, and we might even like keep going and try and get better at swimming as we like
Yeah.
keep like getting better with like practicing because I can't do anything
Mm-hmm.
else.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's a good idea. Wouldn't have thought of
Um,
that.
what else have I been doing? Oh, I got to testify on
That's
Thursday.
right.
I didn't tell Erica, and I can't really like say a bunch of details,
Yeah.
but with my work, I might get a chance to get a subpoena because if our cases go to trial, we might have to go and talk about what we did in the case in a court of law. So I got to travel to Washington, D.C. on Thursday on my
Crazy.
crutches, get up on the witness
Oh,
stand on
that's
my
right.
crutches, and talk about what I did in a case.
Of course, you're on crutches right now. That
I
would
know
happen.
the entire 12-person jury went like, when I
Yeah.
walked in, and I was like, oh, come on.
They're like, we're supposed to trust her, Miss
Yeah.
Cripple.
I was like, am I accidentally like making a bias in this
Oh,
jury that they're gonna
it's
really
really
believe me
funny.
because I'm hurt?
I feel bad for you.
And my last update is that we've been apartment hunting. So
Oh my God, wait, that's so fun. Did
we
not
went
know
on
that.
3 tours yesterday, which was very
Whoa.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Um, I think we've decided where we want to go. We're just trying to toy back and forth with the pros and cons of the
Yeah.
like which unit will we would get there. But we really like it. It's literally like 10 minutes away from where we live now, like
Nice.
not even. It's just a little
Yeah.
bit closer to the climbing gym we go to rather than
Mm-hmm.
like where we live currently.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to contact a couple of rental listings on Zillow, but nobody's getting
Right.
back to us, which is really frustrating. So I think we've just decided that we're going to stick with an apartment for
Stay.
the
Yeah.
next time. We were looking for a townhome that was like in an apartment complex to hopefully
Mm-hmm.
have like a little bit more space, but that wasn't working out because they're few and far between. And if there's one there, they're rented out for the next 3 years.
Oh my
So
God.
it was really frustrating, but I think we found a good unit. We just have to decide what we're willing to compromise on
Dang.
because there's two options we could go
Yeah.
with there, and we just don't know which one we want to compromise on.
Wait, that's exciting. I did not know you guys were doing that right now. That's fun.
Yeah, we have to sell our apartment by April 10th if we're
Okay.
moving out, and right now it's March 16th. So we have about
Yeah.
a month of time, but we wanted to get like a head start on it.
Right. Oh my God, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Fun
that's
stuff.
all of my updates.
Big moving this year. Big moving.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yes. Okay. So since last time we talked, I got I went to a birthday dinner with Angelo's friend for Angelo's friend John, that we always hang out with, and his family just took out like their family and then me and Angelo, which was really nice. And we went to K-Pot in Columbus, which is
Mm.
Korean barbecue and hot pot in one. I didn't know you could
Oh.
do both at one place. So you had the big Korean barbecue thing in the middle, and then everyone had their own individual hot pot burner in front of them. So you got to do both. Oh my God, I ate so much food. I thought I was gonna like die. It was so good though, like amazing. And then I got my eyes checked. I need new
Uh-huh.
glasses.
Are
My
is
prescription
your
changed.
prescription worse?
Yeah, it's worse, but not by a lot. I asked him if it was like a normal amount of change because he said it changed. So it used to be like 0.25 on one section on of my eye or whatever. You know how it's like two things on each eye. I don't know how it works,
Hmm.
but one of them used to be 0.25 and now it's zero point 0.5. And so I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like a big change. And he's like, no, it's not. But he said, he's like, you're not going to die if you don't get new glasses this year. But like, if you do get new glasses this year, it's going to be really nice. Like it's going to sharpen everything. And I'm like, yes, I can tell. Like when he put on the prescription, I'm like, oh, so crispy. So same experience as last year, except they just got worse.
That's really
But
funny.
I
I
didn't
before we
realize.
record next, or the day after we
Oh
record next,
yeah,
I have my eye
yours.
appointment.
We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll keep our same prescription as each other.
Maybe.
I'll just send you mine. Yeah, so I only get new frames every 2 years. I didn't know that because last year was my first glasses year, and
Oh.
I just went balls to the wall and I bought a whole bunch of glasses. Like by that I mean like 3 pairs. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm probably gonna go on iBuy Direct and just pay for frames. I get lenses for free, so I don't know. We'll see how it works. But I went on iBuy Direct last year and it was really cheap, like $20.
Hmm.
So we'll see. But I want to get some new ones because it was so crispy, crunchy. I was like, I need it. I need it so bad.
Hmm.
So there was that. Okay, do you guys remember? You guys, like you guys can answer us. But anyways,
Hmm.
do you remember when in January I had that big lump on my eye and it was all
Yeah,
swollen?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
said I think it's a chalazion, and we were like, there's no way it could be pronounced like that.
Is it?
No. I go to the eye doctor. I'm sitting there. I still have it. It's very, very, very light though, like very small. And I asked him about it, and I said, like so sure I know what it is, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I said, I think it's a chalazion. He
And he said,
says,
"What did you just say to
he
me?"
goes, oh yeah, I think you're right. It's a chalazion.
Shalazian. I feel
I'm
like
like,
that
I
makes sense.
know. Yeah, I was like, I know that mine couldn't have been right. We always knew this, but I was like, I don't know what else to say. So that was
Hmm.
embarrassing, but really funny. But he's like, yeah, it is a Shalazian. I was like, okay. But he did say, so when I was doing my research, I thought like sty was only on the eye line and then anything else above was Shalazian. He said that when it's big and swollen and it hurts and it's actively infected, that's when it's called a sty, regardless of where it is.
Mm.
And then once it goes down how it is now, it's painless, but it's still a bump and there's still a little bit of blockage. That's a Shalazian. So
Hmm.
fun update for you guys.
Interesting.
Shalazian.
I'm glad that the lore is continuing.
Yes,
I'm glad
I
that we
know.
got answers.
Circled back. Yeah, exactly. So new glasses coming soon. I'm hoping for some square ones with anti-glare so you guys can see me good. And I have my square
I
because
mean,
I need
I
them.
technically have anti-glare
Yeah.
square. Well, are these cat eye? I don't know.
I don't know. Mine are like that though. That's what I mean. Not so square. Imagine that there's perfect squares around my eyes. Anyway, so crazy. I feel like there's a cartoon character like that with the perfect squares.
Like Edna
Um,
Mode, I feel.
oh yes, I was imagining, I don't know if there is one on Arthur, but I was imagining like an Arthur character with
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
squares.
Hmm.
Anyways, okay. Other updates. My mom came and visited me this weekend. Like I said, she was just bored, and I was like, okay. So
Okay,
on Friday, I didn't have work, and it was 80 degrees out. And so she was like, what if I just come and we go shopping? I'm like, okay. So
that's
we did
funny.
that. It was fun. We went to Delaware, Ohio. So we went like thrifting, boutique shopping, and then went home. That was it.
And Erica found
Um,
a feng shui book.
I
Did you buy
did.
it?
I did. Yeah. I should have brought it up here. I completely forgot, you guys. I'll put it on screen. I have a picture because I sent it to Marissa. I thrifted a feng shui book. It was so cute. And the outside cover's like not that cute. It almost looks a little bit like this is a weird
It
book.
looks really old.
Yeah, yeah, kind of almost like a 90s like weird, like just not well
Hmm.
designed almost, but when
Hmm.
you open it, it's stunning. It has like watercolor
Oh,
paintings of stuff. I'll just send you a picture of the inside. But I opened it yesterday and I opened it right to the Bagua map. I was like, ah! So I can't wait to read it. It's so cute. So I'll keep you guys
I'm
posted.
not gonna lie. When I was looking at these apartments yesterday, I
Yeah.
was thinking about your
The
feng
feng
shui
shui.
episode,
I
and
love
like
that.
I've been like, I don't know what's been going on, but I haven't been sleeping the best recently.
Same,
It's
actually.
probably just because I'm like stressed out or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I woke up in the middle of the night last night and like I didn't like open my eyes. I didn't like get up or do anything,
Right.
but I just kind of sat there and I was like, well, we can't put our couch there because it's not in commanding position. And I was like, I'm crazy.
That is so funny. I know I actually was telling, well, Grace and Lauren, okay, so they're like a behind. I brought up feng shui and they were like, what? And I
Mm,
was like, oh, duh, they haven't seen the episode or heard me talk about
yeah.
the episode because it hasn't come out. I'm like, oh, duh. But I was trying to tell them when I move this year, I want my new house to be like clean slate. I want to use feng shui. I want new
Yeah.
decor. I want new style. I want color. Like, I want to just restart. And I'm so excited for
Oh,
that.
so
I know.
fun.
Yeah. Say goodbye to the boring white. Just kidding. I'm sure there would be plenty of boring white, but a little color. Oh, I upgraded our bedding, by the way. Speaking of
Yay.
color, I just bought last night. Angela wants a comforter that's not a duvet with a duvet cover, like the two-piece thing. He wants one that's just a comforter and it's one piece.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I don't really care that much. So we're getting rid of the duvet. Goodbye. And we're getting a giant comforter. It's called Oversized King. It's massive. It's so huge and
Hmm.
floofy and beautiful. And we
Don't
got
you have
it.
a queen bed?
No, no, we have a king. That's a
Oh, I was
king.
gonna say,
No,
this is a
imagine.
massive blanket for a queen
No.
bed.
No, we have a king and our king comforter that we have, it only hangs off the edge. Like it barely covers our mattress. And it's a king. So I'm like, our mattress must be kind of tall. So, anyways, got the oversized king, but it's a like dark olive green and it's so
Mm.
pretty. So I'm like, more earthy colors this year.
We got new bedding because we
Ooh.
only had one set of sheets and they were
Yeah.
white and we have a white
Yeah.
comforter too. So I was like, let's get a different color just because white gets dingy, like you sweat
Mm-hmm.
in your sleep, it gets a little
Yep.
gross. And I also had gray, but gray was like boring. So we
Agreed.
got a navy blue and it looks really
Cute.
nice. It's like a sapphire navy blue.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, we kind of did the opposite. So our comforter's dark, it's gonna be the olive green, and then the sheets are like champagne, like
Mm.
tan color, which
I
we've
feel
had
like
that for
that's
a
a
while.
better color than white
It's
because we just
perfect.
had white. And we should
Yeah,
probably get it. Our comforter is still white because we didn't buy a new comforter with the sheet set.
right.
We didn't feel like we needed to.
Yeah,
But maybe we should eventually just to like get everything like maybe a little bit more
yeah.
vibrant, I
I'll
guess.
have to send you ours if we like it because it was really affordable for what it was. Like the oversized
Yeah.
king ones, oh my God, you'd think they would be. I mean, I almost bought one on Target. It was $100 after tax, but
Comforters are so
the so
expensive. It's like
expensive.
just bedding. Let
I
me
know, like
not pay
please.
an arm and a leg for this.
Yeah, we got a six-piece sheet set and then the comforter and two pillowcases set all on Amazon for less than 100 shipped together.
Oh,
On
that's so
Target,
nice.
just the comforter was 100. I was like, "Oh my God."
I have a feeling
So,
we'll eventually upgrade to a king bed too. So I feel like
yeah,
once we
so
do
nice.
that, we'll just have to replace everything.
Oh, that will be such an upgrade. I love having a king bed. You can never
We
go
did
back
just buy our
to
bed frame when we got married, though, so that
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
really annoyed that we'd have to get a new bed
That's sad.
frame, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We
We
could
bought our
always
bed
sell
frame
ours.
we bought ours on Facebook and the people didn't know it was California king, not king. So it just
Oh.
sticks out and we hit our freaking shins on it all the time and die because it's pointy. Anyways, okay, that was a big tangent, but two more things. Okay. First of all, been playing a lot of Ranch Simulator. Have I talked about this on the pod?
No,
My new video game. This is my new video game. Oh, me and Angelo cannot stop playing it, and Lauren. We just play it all together, but it's
that's
kind of
funny.
like GTA vibes because you get a character and you get a car and same kind of vibe, same kind of world, but it's just a ranch. You just farm, you can get chickens, you can get cows, you can get pigs, horses, like whatever you want. You have to like make money and build it up, and it's so fun. I've played
That's so
this
funny.
game. I just got it recently, like within the last month, and I've already played it for 30 hours. So I have been grinding on Ranch Sim. It's kind of actually it's also kind of like Animal Crossing, but think of it more like real world. Like the characters
Hmm.
look like people kind of thing.
That's fun.
So I'm obsessed. I can't stop. And then my last update's a sad update. So if I can sell the tickets, we're not going to Stand in My Boots.
Oh
I'm
no.
so sad. I've cried about it.
I
I'm
feel
so
like I have a
depressed.
reason. I feel like I know why.
Oh, really? Guess.
No,
I
I
bet
don't
you
know.
don't. Guess.
No,
What do you think?
I was gonna say that you're moving.
No, I wish it was that. That would have been better news. No, it's that in total. Okay, so I'll give a brief story. We thought we were going to live in a different area. Okay, at this
Yeah,
time.
but
You
you
guys all
haven't
know
gotten the
this.
news yet, so.
Haven't moved there yet. So if we were to live in the South, we would have been able to go to the concert for the weekend and then go back home. And it would only be like an hour drive each way. So I
Hmm.
only got the Airbnb for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which are the concert days. I didn't get any extra wiggle room. So now that we're not there, if we wanted to go, we need an extra day before and after for travel. So if I were to extend it to those days, it would be $700 to extend the Airbnb. Then we would need either flights or drive. If we got flights, it's $202 a person just to fly to Pensacola, Florida. Then you have to Uber for an hour and a half over to Gulf Shores. or Orange Beach, whatever it is. And whatever. I totaled it all up. With driving or flying, it's going to add like another $1,000. So that means that in total, this whole concert experience, if we go, is going to be $3,500 with everything included. Like, what? That is so nuts. I was like, this is kind of silly. So then
But it's a once in a lifetime
it
opportunity.
is. It is. And I did contemplate it for a long time, but then we went on the lineup and we listed like all the people that were like, these are our top people we really excited to see. These are the reasons we're going. There were 6 people. And I'm like, okay, 6 is not a ton, but it's not too bad. Like, still worth. So then we look at the 6 people and 3 of them we've already seen live. So now we're down to 3 people we're
Mm.
going for. And then I look at the 3 people and 2 of the 3 will be touring together in Cincinnati in May. So now the
Is
only
it Post
person
Malone and Jelly Roll?
no,
Oh.
no, no. That now the only person left that we wanted to see that we won't get to see is Post Malone, which pisses me off because Post Malone is only country right now. I'm like, we don't
Hmm.
know if he'll be country forever. So that's the only person that I'm like, oh, we might not get a chance to see him do his country, which is what I wanted to
Mm.
see. Anyways, we'll
I
see
have
what
an
happens.
opportunity for you. June 2nd, he is
Is it
performing
not sold
with
out?
Jelly Roll. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was no, I thought of that. I was like, wait, Marissa's going, Angelo. Like we could go. We could go with
You could.
Marissa. And I would be down if it's not sold out, but I just assumed it would be.
I'll
But
look. I'll look. I'll
yeah.
let you know.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, we could go see these concerts of the people we want to see for way less than $3,500. And it's Gulf
Yeah.
Shores, Alabama. I've been there multiple times. It's nothing crazy. It's not worth $3,500. I'm like, we could
Mm-mm.
get it. We could put that towards our new house. Like,
You definitely could,
so
which
I
is
called my
really
mom.
sad.
It's really sad. I called my mom and I was like, what would you do? And she was like, sell those tickets. She's like, I know it
Mm.
sucks, but that's what I would do. I was like, yeah, I think
You're gonna make
we
so much
agree.
money though.
I hope. I can't. I haven't sold them yet. So if anyone's listening to this and you know someone or you want to buy them, please let me know. I'm selling them for this exact cent I paid. I'm not trying to make any money. Like
Mm.
I just want to get rid of it. I don't care. But yeah, I'm trying to sell them on Facebook. It's just hard. Like nobody's really messaging me. And then all these I got this is a backstory. This is a tangent, but I got kicked out and banned from a Facebook group trying to sell these
Oh.
tickets. Yeah.
Oh.
Drama. So I'm not gonna get into it. It's a long story, but
That's
anyway,
very funny.
I don't think we're
Post
gonna
Malone and
go.
Jelly Roll in DC on June 2nd is not sold out.
Oh wow. Okay. I'll keep that in mind then. That could be good. I love that. I know. I really want to see him do country. I think that would be amazing. And we do have Jelly Roll tickets for Buckeye Country Superfest too. So I was like, okay, we're gonna see people.
Yeah.
But it's just sad because we'll never do a music. I was like, who are we to think that we were ever gonna go to a music festival? Like the world knew we can't
You
handle it.
might
It's so
still
not
have the
us.
opportunity because who knows, maybe you'll be living there next year when it
I know
happens
that's
again.
what my mom said. Look at you guys being so smart. I like never thought of that. My mom was like, it's got sold out in like 2 days. They'll probably do it again next year. I'm like, that's a really good point. Thanks for bringing that up. And there is a world in which we could get sent to our next location this like quickly enough to still go, but we
Mm,
just don't know at this point. And I'm like, we're 2 months out. Like we need to make
hmm.
plans.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what we're gonna do if we don't sell the tickets. So I can't even think about it. Oh, this is the other factor. The day after the concert. So who knows how late these go? Like I don't know, midnight. I have no clue how late it would go on the Sunday night. But on Monday I'm supposed to fly out to go to my work retreat, which I feel like is a way cooler,
Mm,
not cooler, but like a better
yes.
opportunity than Orange Beach, Alabama, where I've been. So anyway, yeah, if anyone knows anyone who wants these tickets, please reach out to me. I will ship them to you. I will thank you. I will kiss the ground you walk on. I will be so happy.
I will kiss you on the mouth.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, please. So that's my updates. Long tangent. I wonder how long that catch up was because it feels like a long time.
It's been
23 minutes.
25 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Love that for us.
That's
Anyways,
okay.
let's dive in, I guess.
Okay, so as you can tell by the name of this episode, hopefully, I don't know what we're going to name it yet, but eventually you'll know.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk a little bit about nutrition today. So this all sparks because I was talking to one of my friends because they asked me a couple of questions and they were like, I feel like somebody in this group chat has to know something. And I was like, I know something.
You're like, I do.
I took a human nutrition class in high school that was for college credit. So if you go back to when we were talking to Maddie a couple of weeks ago, how she's doing classes for college credit, I
Mm,
did a couple, and one of those
yeah.
was human nutrition. And some of this information is based off of that class. The majority of this information is based off that class. And then there's a couple of other resources that I'll put in the description of this episode that I got like supplemental information from. But
Amazing.
The reason it all got sparked is, like I said, my friend asked me a question about nutrition, and I just feel like there's so much bad facts out there.
Oh my God, there's
Like,
so much,
what
so
should
much
I
info.
eat? Like, all these fad diets of like, we always hear
Yeah.
carbs are bad, fat is bad, we need more protein, that's unhealthy, and like a million other things in daily life about nutrition. But I feel like they're just uneducated phrases or by people that are trying to sell you a product, and they don't really have any thought or meaning behind it. So I wanted to try and give you some thought and meaning behind all of these things.
Love. And I can see that a little bit down, there's photos. So if you are listening to this and not watching it, you are behind the times on your favorite podcast. Okay. Are you hearing me? Go to YouTube, go to Spotify and see our beautiful faces. See Marissa, the sunny day, beautiful girl, and see Erica, the dark night. Okay. That's our alter egos in this episode.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so we're going to start with some basic definitions, common terms, just to
Love.
get you acquainted with the topic. So, calories. I feel like everybody knows what a calorie is, but they don't actually know what the definition is.
Yes.
So, a calorie is a unit of measurement for energy. So, I feel like that often gets lost in translation because we're like, oh,
Yes.
calories, that's what our food is measured in. But what does that
Mm-hmm.
measurement mean? It's usually the number that people use when they're tracking dieting. But in the grand scheme of things, it actually is the amount of energy it takes to something with a gram of water. It's
Oh.
like it's very technical, but that doesn't mean anything to us, so I didn't want to write down that one, but it's like a
Mm-hmm.
super weird way to measure energy.
Yeah. So, by the way, you guys, with Marissa's definition, we can already tell that calorie is not by definition a bad word, right? I feel like
No.
in society, a lot of times you're hearing like, oh, that has so many calories, that has so many calories. It doesn't always mean it's bad. We're only talking about
Correct.
the caloric intake as being form of energy. Like, don't think of it as good or bad. Just think of it as a tool.
It's energy. Like we all need energy. We were talking about
Right.
this in what reincarnation energy cannot be created or destroyed. So
Yeah, there we go.
you are just expending your energy out into the universe. You have to replenish your energy with food.
Right.
So
Love.
next one is macros. I feel like this is an
Hot
often
term.
it's a hot
Yeah.
term. People often hear it. This is the word that I feel like I feel like it's the easiest way to talk about dieting in the terms of macros, so we will get a little bit into it more later. It
Okay.
is a like shortened form of a word. It stands for macronutrients, which is your major macro groups, carbs, fats,
Mm.
and proteins. So if we're
Mm.
talking about
Helpful.
macronutrients, it's just carbs, fats, and proteins. Micronutrients are all of those things that you think of like vitamins and minerals. So magnesium, vitamin
Mm.
A, vitamin B, calcium, sodium, all of those things are micronutrients.
Okay. Okay. This makes a lot of sense when I always see people like counting my macros for dinner. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's the easiest way when we get into
Helpful.
like actual talking about like tracking things later.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give you what that actually means because I feel like it doesn't make
Love.
any sense. But like I said, we'll get more into those later. And then one other common term I feel like is your basal metabolic rate. You'll also hear resting metabolic rate. Those are the same thing. And it's usually shortened to the like acronym BMR. And from the Cleveland Clinic, it says your basal metabolic rate, BMR, refers to the minimum number of calories your body needs to function at a basic level. This includes maintaining all your cells and essential bodily functions like breathing, blood circulation, and body temperature. BMR varies from person to person based on several factors. So, this is what your body burns calorically in a day just living. This doesn't include any extraneous exercise like going up the stairs, going to work, walking
Right.
around. It is just like to get your heart beating, to breathe, and what your metabolism is doing on a daily basis.
Cool. That makes sense.
And we will get more into that one later too. Any questions so far?
No, these are good definitions. Already helpful. Already
Okay.
helpful.
I feel like you know a little bit, but I feel like this is one of those things where like we like one of us is like the pro or like knows more
Yeah.
about it, sort of like the feng shui thing. Like you knew like a little bit more going in, and I just knew like the
Yeah.
definition of it.
I think I know feng shui. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to break down what macros are. So these are where some of the pictures are going to come in. So we're going to start with carbs. Carbs is another shortened form of a word. It is short for carbohydrates, and these are made up of polysaccharides, which is a fancy word for sugars. They are like carbon hydrogen chains. We've all heard of the elements. They are just carbon and hydrogen stringed together, No other like molecules, no other elements are involved. It's just carbon and hydrogen.
Throwback to lactose intolerance episode. If you guys didn't
Yes.
listen, you should definitely go back and you can get a really good breakdown of sugars.
Yeah, so carbs are all sugars. In the grand scheme of things, they turn into sugar in your blood. Your
Interesting.
body knows no difference between, well, that's not entirely true. It's all red as sugar in your body, but there's two different types of
Got it.
sugars. So we have the main source of energy for your body, and it's quick energy. So this is something that you're going to take. You're going to feel the effects of like the energy that you're receiving within about 30 minutes.
Get
And
that
it
sugar
is
rush.
also short lasting. So it's not going to keep you sustained all day. So if you think about if you eat just a plate of pasta, you're going to feel really full and like nothing else on your pasta, just a plate of pasta or like a piece of bread. You're going to feel really full right away, and then you're going to get really hungry shortly after. So there's two types of carbs. There's complex and simple carbs. So I have some photos up on the screen now, and I'll just list off of some of the examples from this photo. So for complex carbs, we have sweet potatoes, whole grain breads, we have broccoli, so like fruits, veggies, and then we have some like oatmeal, and I'm not sure what this top one is. It's probably
Like
like a
little.
whole grain pasta. I think it's like penne.
Oh, that is not what I was gonna say. I'm crying.
And then we have simple carbs, and it shows like donuts, candy, soda, cookies, brownies, chocolate, French fries, white bread, and
An
maybe that's a
orange juice, like a
sugary.
high C or like
I think it's like a sugary
it
sports
looks like
drink.
a it looks like when you're pregnant and you have to take the glucose test to see
It
if you
does
have
kind of.
diabetes. It looks like one of those.
Yeah. So this
Uh,
is where, when we're talking about simple and complex carbs, this is typically where you're going to hear good versus bad carbs. And I think that's stupid personally, but here are some
right.
definitions to help you understand the difference in the examples of each. So simple carbs are just sugars. So while some of these occur naturally in like milk and fruit, like fructose and lactose, if you remember the lactose intolerance episode, most of the simple carbs in the American diet are added to foods. So like raw sugar, glucose, fructose, sucrose, those are all just like naturally occurring sugars. And then like corn syrup is a good example as well.
Hmm.
Complex carbs, they pack in more nutrients than simple carbs. They have fiber, they are more filling, and they're a good option for weight control, typically because they're a little bit more filling because they have that fiber in them. A lot of times you'll hear influencers, nutritionists, people like this saying, if you include fiber in your diet, you're going to stay fuller longer, and it's going to be a better option than opting for a candy bar. And I think that's true. If you eat a piece of, or you eat a sandwich that has whole grain bread versus a sandwich that has white bleached bread, you're going to feel the difference in your hunger levels.
Not to mention, though, this is hard for people because the simple carbs are much more fun to eat, you
They
know?
are
Like
much more fun to eat.
they taste a little bit more addicting, honestly, is probably
Yeah.
what it is. But, it's more fun to eat a donut than to eat a broccoli. I hear you.
Yes. So these complex carbs are ideal for people with type 2 diabetes because they help manage your blood sugar spikes after meals. So they are still quick energy, but they are longer lasting a little bit than the simple sugars.
Hmm.
Like Erica was saying, like your sugar rush, that's typically caused by a simple sugar. So you could
Right.
even feel it when you eat like a strawberry, but because that strawberry has fiber, it's going to help sustain that sugar getting into your bloodstream. Fiber and starch are the two basic types of complex carbs. So, like a potato and
Hmm.
a like whole grain bread is going to have the fiber and starch that's lacking in simple carbohydrates. And fiber is especially important because it promotes your bowel regularity and helps to control cholesterol as well. But be careful because too much fiber is also a
Yeah.
bad thing. You don't want to eat too much fiber because it will do the opposite. It will inhibit your bowel regularity and will sort of back you up.
Hmm.
And some examples, I know I showed you the photo earlier, but it's whole grain breads, fruits, beans, veggies, and pasta.
Makes
And the
sense.
last fact about carbs is that carbs are about 4 calories per gram. So 10
Interesting.
grams of carbs would be 40 calories. And
Oh.
each of the macronutrients has a conversion factor like this.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
if you ever like looking at your nutrition labels, you'll often notice that they're incorrect because they get to round and they get to have a 5%
Mm.
error rate. So the
Oh.
easiest way to understand your nutrition labels is look at the amount of carbs per gram, fats per gram, or protein per gram, and do the
Hmm.
conversion rates that I'm giving you in the
Oh,
episode.
that's interesting. That's cool. Did not know
And
that.
oftentimes also if there's fiber listed as an ingredient or like as a a
Mm-hmm.
nutrient in your food, they can do a little fun little math and they can subtract the fiber calories from the total
Oh,
calories because they
interesting.
call those negative calories. I disagree with that.
Mm,
And it's because your body, it doesn't like break down fiber as quickly, or it like
mm-hmm.
uses it to help the carbs get through your bloodstream. I think that's silly. I think that you should just count what you're eating instead of doing this quick
That's
little
interesting.
like canceling out math.
Right.
Okay, next one is fats. So fats are made of lipids, which is just another cute little chemical term. And they give you more long-term and sustained energy throughout the day. So carbs are that quick energy. You can always think about like people that are running, they'll eat like candy to give them some energy to get through like the rest of their run. Fats are what's going to keep you full throughout the entire day. They're the most satiating of the macronutrients. And there are three different types of fats. So there's saturated, unsaturated, and trans fats. So again, this is where you're going to hear the difference between good and bad fats.
Mm-hmm.
These again are all based off of their chemical structure, what makes a good fat versus a bad fat. A unsaturated fat is one that does not have all of the carbons associated with a hydrogen bond. So as you can see in this photo on the screen, there is one carbon-carbon double bond about 3/4 of the way down the strand. So that
Mm-hmm.
means that it is not completely saturated with hydrogen molecules. Does
Mm,
that make
interesting.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then saturated fats are completely saturated with hydrogen bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And then a trans fat, that's a type of bond. There's mono bonds and trans bonds. And it just means that there's a bend in the
Okay.
structure. So
Mm-hmm.
a mono bond would be something that bonds like this. A trans bond bonds like this. So it bends the
Interesting.
structure of the molecule. And that inherently makes it a little bit harder to digest because it's not a straight
Mm,
line.
okay. This
Um,
picture is like very helpful picture.
Thanks. I've tried to find one that was like the most helpful to like
Yeah, it's
describe
very
these
illustrative. Yeah.
because I learned this in my chemistry class. Like I learned what a
Right.
trans bond is, I learned what a mono bond is, I learned what double bonding is, like hydrogen bonding,
If
and
you would have
it's
said all that, I would have been without the picture, I would have been like, you said, do you understand? I'm like, no. Like there would have been no way. The only way I can
yeah.
understand is that she said it and I'm looking at the picture.
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
So on this little graphic that I have here, so-called good fats can be found in nuts, avocados, other vegetables, and the molecular structure is lower in calories than other fats. I think that's because there's not as much hydrogen on there, but in general, I'll tell you what the conversion rate is at the end, and I would say just use
Mm-hmm.
that for all your fats because I've never heard like what the number is associated with each type of fat. Saturated fats are mostly found in animal products, so it's recommended that people try and reduce their consumption of saturated fats in order to stay healthy. They do just add more of those like hydrogen bonds into your body, which ends up causing the problems that we think of like higher cholesterol and everything later on in life. And then trans fats are unsaturated fats that have been partially saturated with hydrogen to extend their shelf life. So this makes them a little bit more shelf stable, like the fats that you think of sitting on the shelf, probably like canola oil.
Okay.
I wouldn't say coconut oil because that's typically one that people will replace with, but like butters, things like that.
Okay.
So now we'll get a little bit more into each type of fat. The saturated fats are monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. So that means how many strands there are. So
Okay.
there's mono, one, poly, multiple that are healthy fats. They can use to be help to maintain your cholesterol levels, and cholesterol is that fatty substance that's in your blood. And to get rid of the fatty substance in your blood, you should eat more saturated fats and less unsaturated fats.
Okay.
Examples of monounsaturated fats are peanut butter, almonds, cashews, hazelnuts, peanuts, pistachios, olives, and avocados. So all of those things that are like natural products that you're thinking of. So like the nuts, the like avocados and things like that. And then polyunsaturated fats, think salmon, oil, like rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, pine nuts, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds. So again, probably those things that you're thinking to replace like canola oil, vegetable
Mm-hmm.
oil with. And then unsaturated and trans fats. Saturated fat and trans fat are the unhealthy fats. They can raise your blood, your
Pause.
non-HDL. Yes,
This says unsaturated and trans fats, but all the points are about saturated. Is it supposed to be saturated? And was the last one supposed to be un?
maybe. Did I mess
Okay.
up my words? I
I'm
think
just wondering if
so.
that word is switched because I was like, wait, I'm confused.
Yeah, I
So
think
these are
so.
saturated in trans.
You're right. So
Okay, okay.
everybody strike what I said about saturated fats because I talked about unsaturated fats in all of the
Okay.
points. So these ones are
Yes.
about your saturated and trans fats, the
Okay, cool.
worst fats for you. So they raise your bad or your non-HDL cholesterol. There's two cholesterol levels. There's the HDL and LDL. I don't know exactly what they are or what they do. I just know that one is worse to have a higher number on,
Okay.
and that is the cholesterol that's in your blood. So too
Hmm.
much cholesterol can increase your risk of having a stroke or heart disease because it gets that fattiness in your arteries and then your blood can't go through and then bad, bad, bad.
Bad, bad,
And
bad.
last time I actually got my blood work done was in December when I went to my new primary care and I had a
Hmm.
increased cholesterol level. So I do
Interesting.
need to think about switching these fats in my diet.
Hmm. Interesting.
This can happen to anybody then, just so you
Even
know.
young people.
Even young people. So, examples of saturated fats are processed and fatty meals like sausages, ham, burgers, bacon, hard cheeses like cheddar, whole milk, cream, ice cream, butter, lard, ghee. I don't know what suet is, but if you know what suet is,
No.
palm oil and coconut oil.
This is my favorite
So,
category of fats right here.
I
You just
know.
read my
So,
diet.
these are probably what everybody likes to eat. You think about if you eat
Yum.
like an animal product diet, these are
Right.
probably the things that you're consuming the most.
Hmm.
So the most important thing to remember is that you should probably have some peanuts,
Have some
some nuts
balance.
in your diet as well to balance it
It's
out.
funny because it says hard cheese is like cheddar too, which is the only kind of cheese, real cheese I can eat.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
And ghee.
then,
By the way, I found out I can eat ghee. Side note.
huh.
Yeah.
And then the examples of trans fat are fried foods and
Mm.
snacks like biscuits, cakes, pies, pastries, hard margarines that are made with hydrogenated oils.
Mm. Okay. So my two favorite categories of fats.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see how this goes.
And
Interesting.
then fats are a little bit higher calorically dense than other foods. So they are
Mm-hmm.
9 calories per gram. So if you're having 10 grams of fat, you would be having 90 calories.
Okay. Love it.
And then our last section is protein. So this one I don't have any pictures for because I think that we can
Mm-hmm.
all kind of know in
Picture
our
it.
brain what protein is, but I'll give you some examples anyways. So it is made up of amino acids. I wanted to give you the building blocks of all of these just in case you weren't aware. There are I don't remember from my biochem class. I think there's 23 amino
Uh-huh.
acids that make up proteins. There are two types, kind of, I guess, animal based and non animal based. So, animal based proteins are the ones that you normally think about, like chicken, turkey, beef, and pork. And then non animal based proteins would be things like tofu, seitan, and tempeh. I feel like those are like the biggest
Mm-hmm.
examples that I've heard of. And then protein is also 4 calories per gram, just like carbs. So, if you're
Okay.
thinking of the 10-gram example, it would also be 40 calories for that amount.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
so I have a question.
yes.
If you say you're just like eating a burger, you have to
Mhm.
count that as grams of protein and grams of fat because it's in both categories.
Yes.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
that's why when you go to the store, you'll see the percentages of ground beef. So there's like 95
Mm, yeah.
5, 90 10, 80 20. And if you're trying to limit the amount of
Yeah, that makes
saturated
sense.
fat that you have in your diet, you would get the lower fat percentage.
Okay, that makes sense.
And lots of foods are that way. I would say there's
Yeah,
very little foods that are singularity one type of
category.
macronutrient. I
Yeah,
would say that majority of foods are like a combo of the three.
makes sense.
And in general, people eat way too little protein. And in general, myself, I recommend that 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight is consumed.
Mm,
So, for example, I weigh about 160 pounds on average. So, I would like to eat close to about
mm.
160 grams of protein a day.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's like a nice, even if it's not perfect, that's a nice rule of thumb for you to easily remember, you know?
Yeah. And I think that there's obviously a window. You don't have to be perfect. And
Yeah,
I don't even like track what I eat usually. I do sometimes
right.
just because I get curious of like where I'm sitting at. And I usually am low on my protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm normally getting between 120 and 130 grams of protein, which is still a lot. But
Yeah.
one of my friends that had asked me a couple of questions, she was eating less than 100 grams of protein a
Mm,
day and she wants to get stronger. Protein is
yeah.
what makes your muscle fibers reconnect and rebond after you've done a workout. So if you're not replenishing that protein in your body, you're not going to get stronger.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so why is all of this important? You might be asking. It's
Love.
important because we need to know what our food is made of so we can make sure we're nourishing our bodies appropriately. I feel like oftentimes we don't think about what's in our food, and that's what like leads to things in the American diet like heart disease and diabetes and obesity. So I think it's really important to just think about what your foods are made of, and that's why I wanted to give you all of the examples of things in each category. And also, there's a million micronutrients, like I was saying, the vitamins and
Yeah.
minerals in all of our food. That would be like 100 million hours of an episode. So I was just trying to get us like the basics of what our food
Yeah.
could be made of. In general, the way that you split your macros is dependent on your goals. So, the way that you split up what you are eating in carbs, fat, and protein, I think in general, I like to have a lower fat diet just because I
Hmm.
did get that number of my cholesterol saying it's a little bit higher than normal. So, I like to think about like, okay, the best way to get rid of that cholesterol problem is to get rid of fats. And of course, I'm not getting rid of them entirely because that is
Right.
unsustainable.
Yeah.
So, I usually like to pick what thing is most important to me and then build my goals around that. So,
Hmm.
like I had mentioned earlier, I like to think most about my protein and try and get that 1 gram per pound of body weight. So, I usually focus on getting a protein in every snack that I'm eating and every meal
Hmm.
that I'm eating so that I can build around that without actually having to track.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And then common ways to split your like nutrients based off of your goals
Ooh, I like
is
this.
this is from a website that I didn't love the
Okay.
information that they were giving, so I didn't
Hmm.
want to like go and
Full
research
for.
super heavy on their website, but I did like this graphic that they
Yeah,
had.
this is cool.
So on the screen, it says split up your macros based off of your goals. So if you're trying to build muscle, it says 40 to 50% of your plate should be protein, 20 to 40% should be carbs, and 20 to 30% should be fat. I think that this is typically where I sit around. So I
Hmm.
get about, I would say like 45% of my nutrients from protein, about 20% of my nutrients from fat, and then the rest is carbs.
Okay.
Um, Losing fat. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this one on the screen. It says that you should have more fat than carbs, but fat is inherently going to lead to longer term problems downstream. So I think that you could flip the carbs and fat on this diagram. So still keeping between that 40 and 50% of protein, and then about 30 to 40% fat, 10 to 30% carbs. 10 to 30% carbs is almost unattainable. Like that is really, really hard to limit your carbs that much
Hmm.
just because everything has carbs in it almost. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if you would switch the two and do about 10 to 30% fat and 30 to 40% carbs. Increased endurance. This one is really heavy on carbs. And like I was saying, it's your quick energy source. So it has like a little like graphic of a treadmill on there. So you think about runners, they're probably eating a bit more carbs than they are the other macronutrient groups. And then maintaining, this one's just balanced. It's 30,
Nice.
30, 30. So of course that's not going to add up to 100, that's 90.
Yeah.
So you
Fake.
can have a little wiggle room on each side. So how much do I really need to eat? This is where we're going to get back into the
Yeah.
BMR part of it. So I feel like a lot of people, especially women in the United States, are told you need to eat less. You need to be skinny, you need to be stick thin, you need to be consuming less. But that is not necessarily true.
Right.
Everybody has a different BMR, which I talked about earlier, and everybody has a different activity level as well. So many things can affect your BMR. There's no one size fits all answer. A couple of the examples of things that affect it is your body size. The bigger you are, so taller or a little bit like
Hmm.
if you have a little bit more muscle or a little bit more fat in your body, the more tissue and body cells that you have, the more energy your body requires to maintain them. You think about somebody like me and Kyle, for example. He's obviously a
Right.
lot taller and bigger than I am. And of course, he's going to need more food to stay sustained throughout the day. The amount of lean muscle tissue that you have, muscle tissue requires a lot more energy to maintain itself. So if you think about people that are like super, super strong, like they have the big muscles, they're probably eating a lot more food. And that's because their muscle tissue
Hmm.
is making them more hungry. The muscle tissue
Yeah.
is taking the nutrients away to make it like sustained. So you need more food to keep yourself like full and satiated. Um, the amount of adipose tissue, which is just another word for body fat, you compared to muscle tissue, the fat cells require less energy to maintain themselves, but they require energy nonetheless. So if you do
Hmm.
have a higher amount of body fat, you're just going to need a little bit more food. Sex of the person. So males generally tip have a faster BMR or a higher BMR because they're generally larger than females. And males tend to have more lean muscle mass due to the higher
Mm,
testosterone levels. Women can also have high testosterone levels. So if you are a woman
right.
that's had that tested in you and you know that you have that, it's not uncommon that you're going to have more, like,
Yeah.
you're going to need more food to sustain yourself. Age, your BMR decreases with age mainly due to a loss of muscle mass, but hormonal and neurological changes also affect your
Mm,
BMR as you age too. And then
pesky
race,
hormones.
yeah, your race and or ethnicity might affect your BMR. Researchers are still studying this though, so they
Interesting.
don't know exactly how much it differs from race to
Mm-hmm.
race. And then genetics, your genes would likely influence your BMR. Researchers are still studying genetics and how they affect metabolism though. So we can't say this one for sure or like what percentage it is, but
Mm-hmm.
it does affect.
Interesting.
Um, if you're ever curious about your BMR, you can use a calculator online, but this is how the Cleveland Clinic says that you can do the calculation. I'm not sure what equation the BMR calculators are using. You can probably look
Right.
and like it'll show its work, but I would
Mm-hmm.
try and find one that is whatever it says on the screen here. I'm not going to read out the numbers because you're going to get very confused. It's called the Harris-Benedict equation, though. So
Okay.
for males, there's a different calculation factor than for females.
So what do you do with the final, what do you do with your BMR then? Like once you have the number, what does it mean
The
practically?
number is how much your body is burning at a resting state.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. You did say that. I was like, I'm confused. Okay. I kind of want to find mine out.
Yeah, we can do it. We can take a little pause and do it if you
Let's
want.
do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay,
we're
we're
back.
back.
We're back from mathing. We just
We're
did
back.
lots of calculating. So the
Yes.
the what's it called? Equation was on the screen. So if you guys want to pause and take a little screenshot or whatever, you can go ahead and figure out yours too. But grand reveal. Okay, so I did mine for the female formula and I got 1,690.34. I rounded the 34, but
Yeah.
that is
I got
my BMR.
I got 1,490.44.
Oh, yeah,
So
really close,
yeah, me and
actually.
Erica, of course, she's a little bit taller than me. She's also a year
Right.
older than me,
True.
and like our like weights probably equal out. So we're about
Yeah, pretty
200
similar.
calories different from each other.
I guess for reference, if anyone, because I don't mind to share, I'm 5'9", I'm about 140 pounds usually, and I'm 26 years old, and I got 1,690. So if that's helpful to anyone without having to do all the math themselves, there
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
I guess I could also share. I already said that I'm about 160 pounds, which is what
Yeah,
I put in this equation. I'm 25, and then I'm 5'1", I think I put on there. So
yeah.
I don't
Interesting
know
because we
actually.
have a decent height difference, but we're still pretty close in the calories actually. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so that is the number that our bodies, me and Erica ourselves, burn on average just by breathing and being
That's
alive.
crazy.
Any physical activity you do, like housework, walking, stairs, or a workout, increases this number.
Yeah.
So, how do I lose weight? What does this mean? What are these numbers telling me? The only effective and known way to lose weight is by being in a caloric deficit. So, what does that mean? It means consuming less calories than you burn in a day. If you
Okay.
have a fitness watch, I
Hmm.
know on the Apple Watch, if you go to like the fitness app, there is the move ring. There's a number beneath your move ring that says total, and that will tell you how many calories total you actually burned for the day. The one for your move ring is just your active calories, so what your Apple Watch perceives you doing that is above your BMR, but the one below that is actually how many calories you're burning in a day. So if you for example, Erica, you go and you do a dance workout
Yeah.
and you burn 500 calories. You're going to add that to 1690, and that is your average for the day.
Okay. I have actually, I just went on yesterday. So if you guys have Samsung, you can go in the health app and it's the same thing that Marissa said. It's the three rings that you close. Yesterday, my total burn calories was 1,600 even. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, so it makes sense. I mean, it's 90 less than normal, so
Yeah.
or 90 less than what this calculated. And did you
Yeah.
do
Pretty good.
any like extra exercise yesterday other than like walking around the house?
Yesterday, I'm like, what did I do yesterday? Let's check my calendar. I legitimately don't know. Yes, actually, not a lot, but just like a lot more walking than I normally do,
Okay.
but not
So,
by a lot.
um, I would say fitness watches aren't perfect and
Right.
equations are probably a
Oh,
little
it
bit
did die
more.
yesterday too.
Oh, that
So
makes
there you
sense.
go.
Yeah, perfect science and math is
Yeah.
probably going to be a little bit more accurate than your
Right.
fitness watch is telling you. I can look up what my watch says
Yeah,
that I
look up
burned
yours.
yesterday. I
That's
didn't do any
helpful.
exercise yesterday because I can't. So
Right.
mine says that I burned about 2,297,
Whoa.
but I
Yeah.
did do a lot of walking yesterday. And
Yeah.
I would say my BMR is probably a little bit elevated than normal because I am using my entire body to walk on crutches and not just
Right.
my legs. So it is a
Yeah.
little bit more time consuming and energy consuming.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Cool. This is cool.
Yeah, so now that we have all of those numbers, we're going to figure out how do you actually lose weight. So, one number that people often don't know, 1 pound of body weight is equal to 3,500 calories. So, a lot of people don't know that. That is the amount of energy that you need to burn or be in a deficit of to
Mm-hmm.
lose 1 pound of body weight. So,
Interesting.
in general, to lose about a pound a week, you would have to intake 3,500 calories less total than you burned during the week. So this
Okay.
is usually seen by being in a 500 calorie deficit every day. So in your
Mm.
instance, Erica, I'm not going to use 1690 because you do more than that every day.
Right.
I would say you probably do about 200 to 400 more calories of work every day than
Yeah.
1690. And you can figure this out based off of like the amount of activity that you do in your job. There's another
Yeah.
calculator that you can find online that says like I have a pretty sedentary job. I have a pretty
Mm.
active job. I'm a pretty active person outside of my job, and it'll help you figure out those
Yeah.
numbers. But on average, I would say you probably do between 200 and 400 calories more work
Yeah.
than 1690. So that'll put you at about 1890 to 290 or like 2090.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, if you wanted to lose weight, you would have to eat about 500 calories less than that every day. So that would be about 1500. I usually
Interesting.
don't recommend eating less than like 1800 if you can
Yeah.
try and help it because I don't want you to be hungry. So I'm going to
Right.
say figure out what you need to do by either increasing your exercise by just walking around a little bit more so you can stay around
Yeah.
1800 calories because I think that that's like a perfect number that it's a little bit of a deficit but you're also going to be full all day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And you can be in a more extreme deficit, more than 500 calories a day, but that's super, super unsustainable because you're restricting what you're eating. You're going to be
Right.
super hungry all day, and it's going to be ending up to be less sustainable. And talking about less sustainability, what about all these fad diets like keto, Whole30, Weight Watchers, etc.? Throw out any word that you've ever heard that is probably a
Yeah.
fad diet. Those are just fancy and specific ways that people try and sell you on weight loss while following each of these regimens like keto, Whole30, Weight Watchers, you can lose weight, but you must be consuming less calories than you burn off in a week. So the funny thing about saying like, "Oh, you can do keto, it's going to help you lose weight." Only if you're eating less than you're burning in a week.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Makes sense though.
Do you have any questions? That's all the stats and fun facts that I have for
Wow.
you today.
Rounding it out like perfectly at an hour. Love
I
it.
know. I don't know how I did that.
So good. No questions. I think this whole episode kind of points to something that me and Marissa say all the time, which is that you have to find balance in
Hmm.
literally everything. That's like the golden rule of us. That's the golden rule of the podcast. Find your
Yes.
balance. Find your balance of things that, feel good and are good, for you, things that work for you and that feel right. But it's like,
Yeah.
if you want to have a sugary cereal here and there, go for it. It's not going to
You
kill
can,
you.
if you want to lose weight and you want a sugary cereal, okay. You just
Right?
have
Just
to,
work it in the right way.
you got to work it in the right way. You
Yeah,
can have as many
exactly.
donuts as you want. It's not going to be good for your
Krispy
health
Kreme,
long term, but you can
so
have as
good.
many donuts as you want as long as you're hitting those goals that you
Mm,
have.
right? Yeah, I think this is a really good episode though. I learned a lot, you guys, and I took health in college, or not health, but nutrition class in college, and I didn't even feel like I learned this much. 'Cause it's
I
hard.
feel like it depends on how interested you are at the time that you take the class,
It
how much you
is.
actually take away.
No, that's so true because every time we do a podcast on something, I already learn more about it than I should have known. It's like, oh, I should
Mhm.
have known all this from whatever, but I just didn't care enough at that time.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it
I
makes
feel like
sense.
I've always found this stuff super interesting. And I always say this whenever I do a research heavy episode. This just scratching the surface. So
Right.
I feel like this is a really good baseline level knowledge for anybody that maybe had no knowledge of it previously. I
For
know that
sure.
oftentimes it's skipped over or just not really focused on in schools.
Yeah.
And we do have an obesity problem in America. A lot of people are dying from heart disease and diabetes and
Mm-hmm.
obesity at a younger age than normal. So if we just understand what's in our food, it will help us be a little bit healthier overall.
Yeah. This was a good episode. Thank you guys for
Thanks.
listening. Like this was really, really helpful, educational. I hope you guys liked the visuals because I thought the visuals were super helpful. I would have not gotten to the understanding without them. So
Hmm.
that's always good. But yeah, okay. Well, I guess this is it. I guess we're wrapping this up. What should our question be today? I feel like we should shout out the question.
What's your favorite food?
Ooh, love. Easy. Yeah, tell us your favorite food. Mine is oh, I actually hate this question. I like a lot of foods a lot.
I know.
Honestly, and this is so funny. I was saying this yesterday, and I was with Lauren, who she's like vegetarian, and then I was with another friend, Taylor, and she's not. And I was like, you guys, today I got my period. I was like, I need red meat right now. I was like, I need red meat for lunch. Taylor's like, red meat slaps, and we were being so funny. And then Lauren's just standing here, probably like, what the hell? These girls are
She's like, I don't
crazy.
eat meat at all.
She's probably like, you guys are gross. But yeah, so I guess red meat's my favorite. I know that sounds gross, but like, I love a steak. I love a burger, like something like that. That's my
Mm.
favorite.
I think that my favorite food is our buffalo chicken bowls that
Oh
we make.
yes, you guys are obsessed. I love
I
this
know.
for you.
I feel like I've
No, it's
answered
so
this
good.
before, but
That's true.
I also love, I don't know, I love a lot of foods too. I
I
love
know.
Chex Mix. Is
I
that a
love that's
food?
funny. That's
It's a
a food.
snack.
I love like a pasta as well, like a good
Mm,
pasta slay. Anyways, tell us
mm.
your favorite food in the comments of this
Yes.
episode on YouTube or Spotify or whatever you like to listen to us. So yeah. And follow us to stay up to date. You guys already
Hmm.
know. Hit us up on Instagram at We Run on Coffee. We're always posting tons of posts. Honestly, we're posting a lot. We're posting 2 times a week. We're posting stories every single week. We have lots of reels that have like funny little clips from our episodes. So that's really fun. And yeah, that's all. Follow us. We love you. Thank you for listening. And I'm glad that you got to listen to your favorite podcast today. You're welcome.
Yay.
And yeah, we'll see you later. And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa,
And
and
we
we
run
run
on
on
coffee.
coffee.